On January 7th, 2025, thousands of Colombians took the streets to send a message to its once powerful ally, the United States. In recurring comments days before, U.S. President Donald Trump had threatened Colombian President Gustavo Petro, even linking him to the drug trade. Colombians expressed bewilderment and anger.
I felt indignant when I heard the comments. A threat of invading and bombing our country? We have given blood, our land, and riches to the United States. What more do they want? We gave them a free trade agreement. We submitted to their military policy, Plan Colombia, for years.
Inside of Colombia in his negotiations.
The two countries have had a 2 centuries-long relationship marked by controversy and alliances. At the turn of the 19th century, the United States, driven by its personal interests, supported Panama's independence from Colombia to secure rights for the Panama Canal. Rather than harboring a rivalry, Colombian elites decided to strengthen those relationships. There was a most famous Latin expression coined by a Colombian president in the early 1900s that described their relationship. Respes polum, in Latin, which literally means look towards the North Star, was used to describe Colombia's new foreign policy, a term that is applied even today.
The North Star means we are always looking to see what the North is doing. And this is especially evident after the creation of the United Nations, particularly in the General Assemblies and the voting process. Colombia systematically votes in favor, always following the patterns and the American guidance.
So much so that Colombia went on to be a strong ally to the U.S. during the Cold War. In fact, it was the only South American nation to send troops to the Korean War in 1950. But at home, Colombia faced an internal armed conflict between the government and leftist guerrilla rebels. The United States supported their counterinsurgency strategies, making Colombia the largest recipient of U.S. military aid after Brazil from 1949 to 1974.
Colombia's relations with the United States have always been driven by economic factors. While the relationship is seemingly limited to military and security matters, Colombia maintains a very close relationship with the United States, given that it is the largest historical trading partner and remains so today. As of 2026, the U.S. is the country's largest trading and financial partner.
With an increase in the drug trade in the 1980s, lines in the armed conflict became blurred. The Colombian government needed help fighting the guerrillas, and the U.S. stepped in with Plan Colombia.
If we look at the year 1998, we were on the road to being declared a failed state. However, with Plan Colombia, we were able to achieve certain dynamics that helped Colombia change course and start developing new capacities with the cooperation of the United States, with intelligence, training, mobility, and even collaboration in justice and even in prosecution.
But in 2022, the country elected its first left-wing president in centuries. Gustavo Petro was a former leftist guerrilla and strong U.S. foreign policy critic. But even more notably, he has pushed for economic diversification.
Petro has opened the doors much more to China, but also to diversification of relations. He has looked to become closer with Europe and, in a way, break its alignment with the United States.
From now, we are going to be
an alliance that would only get more complicated in 2025 with the swearing in of President Donald Trump. Michelle Begue, CGTN, Bogota.